You're welcome to another video of the course F5 Big IP LTM. In this section, we will use F5 AS3 REST API to automate application deployment, which is a declarative automation method in which we send only final configuration to F5 device and F5 process and prepare the configuration in background. To start automating application deployment via F5 AS3 REST API, we first need to install F5 AS3 extension. In our example, F5 AS3 extension is already installed, and in the previous section, we discussed and learned how to install this extension. To use AS3 to automate application deployment, we need final configuration in the format of JSON. There are many methods you can use to convert TMSH configuration to AS3 compatible configuration like ACC or Visual Studio Code F5 extension, but this is out of the scope of this course, and we assume that we have already prepared AS3 JSON configuration file. In these links, there are some configuration examples in the format of AS3 that you can use to test for your lab environment. For example, to prepare a simple HTTP application through AS3, and 3 other examples you can find in this link. But I will use the example in this link with a few changes to prepare a simple HTTP application like the ones that we have prepared during the course. This example prepares a new virtual server with a virtual IP address and a web pool with 2 pool members in a container with the name of sample1. As I've said, I've had a few changes to this configuration. The name of the container or partition is tenant1, and the name of the service is service HTTP, and the IP address of the virtual IP is 2.105, and the name of the pool is web pool, and we have 3 pool members, 10, 111, 112, and 113. These are configured in the JSON configuration, which we will use for declarative automation. Then we have to use a tool such as curl or Postman to send AS3 JSON configuration file through REST API. I will use Postman for this example. In the Postman, I use post HTTP method to send the configuration. The URL to send the configuration is always the IP address of F5 Big IP and then MGMT shared application services and then declare. In the authorization tab, we use basic authentication as the authentication type, and then we give the username and password to connect to the F5 device. In the body tab, we send prepared JSON configuration file. We select raw and JSON as the input type and copy the configuration to the body section. Here, the name of the container is tenant1, the name of the application service HTTP, the IP address of the virtual IP of the virtual server, web pool, and web pool members. Then we click on the send button to send the configuration to deploy new application. We have to wait for a few seconds. The result of sending configuration through REST API is 200 OK, and it was successful. If we check the result in F5 Big IP GUI itself, we see that a new partition with the name of tenant1 is created. We also check the virtual server section in the local traffic, and we see a virtual server with the name of HTTP service is created, and a new pool with the name of web pool with 3 members. and the members are 10, 111, 12, and 13, and this is exactly what we have configured in the AS3 JSON configuration file. So we could configure or deploy application through AS3 automation tool, which send the configuration, the final configuration through REST API to the F5 device. This method of automation is called declarative automation.